my gosh, that's so cool. I just figured out if you wave your hands in front of the camera, it will turn itself on my phone. Never claimed to be a technological genius, this one. Hey guys, it's been a minute since last videos were made. For those of you who have been on this channel and you have seen it as JoLex Productionz with my friend Alexis and I making videos, mostly a couple of years ago pre-pandemic, this is now, I give you heads up, going to be a solo venture moving forward. Alexis is super busy with a bunch of other things going on in her life, and COVID really kind of put the brakes on a lot of the projects that we had in mind to do with our channel. But what we did do instead was she and I created a TV series, which we are in the process now of pitching and moving forward. So hopefully some good news to come on that front at some point in the near future. But in the meantime, it's just me and you're gonna be stuck with me, or you can leave. I won't be totally offended. You know, she's a lot of fun. Okay, so that's the quick update for the last couple of years as far as what's happening with us. And moving forward, I have a lot of very loose ideas about what I want to do with this channel. Some of it is going to be our family. Some of it is going to be stuff that I'm doing on my own. Right now, today is March the 22nd, 2022. And it's a big day here in Ontario. We are now officially no longer required to wear masks in most public spaces. There's still transit and healthcare centers that require them. But I think most people are probably ready for some kind of forward movement. And I have a lot of history in my life with fasting. And I thought today might be a great day to combine this new step forward with the world moving on to myself doing a very prolonged fast. Over the years, I've had a lot of really weird, lingering, underlying health conditions that I didn't have answers for as to why I was getting them and why I couldn't shake them. 2 years ago, I think now, in December, maybe like a year and a half ago, I was finally diagnosed with having a primary immune deficiency. So I am one of the immune compromised who walks around. I have had COVID twice that I know of in my life, and there are some ongoing long COVID things that I have. The actual acute infection was not terrible for me either time. I did lose my sense of smell in the beginning for a couple of weeks. And then, like many people who had that same symptom happen, from what I now understand, I then developed months later parosmia, which is the distorted smell and taste. And though I have had it for about a year at this point, and there are improvements, it still is not gone. So that is one of the reasons that I am tackling this fast. And I'll tell you, it is a 21-day fast. Fasting is all over the place. There are so many different ways to fast, so many different benefits. People do things completely differently and for different reasons. I will first start by saying a disclaimer. As my mother has mentioned to me many times, I am not a medical professional. So I'll just tell you, this is my experience. I don't recommend doing anything without checking with a healthcare provider first and, you know, taking your own individual health into consideration. So that being said, the longest fast that I have done thus far has been 11 days. So I'm about to attempt to double that. My interpretation of how I plan to fast. First of all, I say plan to fast because I do know that I want to leave room to, most importantly, listen to my body. I do plan on not eating any food for 21 days. I will be taking a variety of supplements to help me through the fasting process with some fats and omega oils. And probiotics and different things. I'll do a video afterwards on the supplements I'm actually taking. And then I will hopefully get to a place where I achieve what it is I'm looking for. And what it is I'm specifically looking for is to get myself in a prolonged state of autophagy, which is the body's process of like cleaning up its deadened cells and bacteria and parasites and viruses and things that don't really benefit it. It is a natural process that happens in the body. It happens at many times in our lives, more often when we're younger than when we're older. And basically, if you want to know more about fasting, I will put a bunch of links in the description below and sort of send you to some of the sources that I've looked at. But this process for me has been more than a decade in the learning and understanding. I can't really encompass it all in a short video. So I plan to do a video every day to update you on my progress. It's not always going to be pretty, I guarantee you that, but I am very determined to make this happen. I think for me, the long COVID parosmia, ongoing issues combined with general gut health, which I am severely lacking right now, and being in my 40s and I am very much in the full solid throes of perimenopause. So hormonal resets and different things. This is what I'm looking for. One of the other things that I did notice after my first initial COVID infection was that my energy never really came back. I don't know if it was a combination of having had it and the menopause or just getting older. I'm not really sure. Or being kind of depressed in general with the state of the world and being locked down a lot and not interacting and having the same kind of social network and structure that I'm accustomed to, because I'm a pretty social person. Either way, it's definitely something that contributed to me not having the gumption and the get up and go and feeling a lot more fatigue than I'm used to. I gained quite a bit of weight for me. Not that size matters, but I am the largest I've ever officially been without another human inside of me, growing a baby. We're gonna get a baseline-ish day one starting weight. Let's see what it says we're at. Yeah. I have officially gained the COVID-19. Fasting also is a great way to redistribute how your body metabolism works. And so that's one of the other goals that I have going into this fast, is to be able to kind of reset that whole system as well. So hopefully this turns into something that is positive, a net positive. And I think that it really will. I'm going to do these videos to try to give me more motivation to see it through. And I will kind of warn you ahead of time as to what's happening in that video. And if you don't want to watch it, you don't need to watch it. But thanks so much for all your support in general. You guys have been great to us over the years, and we'll see what this future holds. I still have to prepare food for my family. That's probably going to be the most challenging part. Always. First few days are the hangry stage. After that, it actually gets a bit easier. So, wish me luck, everybody. Bye-bye! And I'm wearing my WAL shirt. It was supposed to be a reminder to me to talk about my shoulder injury that I incurred when I was competing back in arm wrestling. And of course, I'm going to blame the perimenopause on that because I don't remember things very well. And it's not going to get better through the course of this fasting. Afterwards, it should improve. But yeah, so one of the other big issues that I have ongoing is my shoulder, my right shoulder. When I was competing in the WAL in 2017, the year that at the last kind of minute, the WAL lost some of their funding and different agreements that they had with production, and sort of 2 weeks, I guess it was, I think 2 weeks before the finals were supposed to happen, they pulled it. And I think it was Travis Bajan and a couple of other people decided to throw a last minute tournament because we all had these, we'd all trained up, we'd all had our flights booked, hotels booked, etc. So a lot of people just went anyway, and we had this tournament, but it was for obviously a lot less money and a lot less, you know, visibility online, etc. And I was at that time competing in the 128 classes. It was a weight cut to get there for sure. But given the change of incentive, I decided that I would not pull 128s, and I pulled 148s. And I had a pre-existing shoulder injury, kind of like an underlying like nagging, but not, it didn't really stop me too much when I was actually competing. And the day that it happened, I was, the match that it happened in, I was pulling Deb Banyan, crazy strong woman in a weight class, typically that it was higher than what I was pulling in at the time. And I was in great position. I felt like I could sort of work around the injury, no problem. And nothing could have been further from the truth. You know, it was just such a fluke that happened. And I think if I'm really digging into deeply into this, I think potentially part of my problem is my primary immune deficiency, born with a crappy immune system. And I do believe that it's actually caused a lot of inflammation and different things in my body to surface. So I was doing well. I was in a winning position, and then I wasn't very quickly. So I blew like everything. I just blew it to crap, like complete subscap tear, complete superior labrum tear, Higgins lesion, capsule detachment from the humerus, bicep tendon slipped out of this groove. And anyway, lots of stuff happened. So I had surgery 3 weeks from the day that it happened. And I went from being a competitive professional athlete training 2 or 3 times a day to sleeping in a chair for 6 weeks. And then and immobilized with the shoulder. And when the sling finally came off, I basically did rehab for like a year and a half straight on the shoulder. And I got to a place where it was functional, but arm wrestling was really not going to be in the cards for me again. And recently I started arm wrestling training a little bit again for fun. And it really aggravated it. I just had an MRI. I have some moderate to severe arthritis in the shoulder, and it's causing me quite a lot of pain right now, and limitation in my ability to do much. So I know that the fasting, one of the biggest benefits I notice of fasting instantly is a reduction in inflammation. And I know that this will help me to heal the shoulder. So loved my time in WAL, but those days are definitely done.